Episode is rated M for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed on this show are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect those of the PFC Entertainment Network or any of the affiliates that make this show possible.
This is the Pure Fury Creations Entertainment Network.
And we welcome you to Ball Game here on the PFC Entertainment Network. We are live on a Thursday night. Along with Vinny, I'm Jason. We certainly appreciate you tuning in here, as this is a presentation of the Sports Reel podcast, which you will hear every Tuesday night live in the 6 o'clock hour. With that, Vinny, great to see you. I can't wait to get into this week's episode because we have a lot to talk about as we emerge from a pretty noteworthy All-Star week. We're going to be talking about that. Of course, we're going to be looking at our respective favorite teams in terms of the New York Mets and the Detroit Tigers. And it's going to get real interesting later on. And I have some news that came across our radar that deal with both of these teams. So we're going to be talking about that. But Vinny, I'm based in the fine state of Michigan. You are in Connecticut. Are you guys dealing with the residual effects of these Canadian wildfires?
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I thought it was coming from Connecticut. That's how close it is.
Mm-hmm.
We've had it before from Canada, but never this bad. And I thought something popped up on my phone that it was coming from Connecticut. Jason, it's so bad outside. You can't stay out there more than 10 minutes, and it's advised not to because it's so thick. It looks cloudy, and it's scary out, man. It's like Red Dawn out there, man, right now. And it's just some scary stuff going on right now. I mean, it's not healthy to be outside, and you know, it just doesn't feel like summer, Jason. It just doesn't, with the weather change and the crazy weather and everything. It just doesn't feel like summer to me right now. I don't know. Do you feel the same way, kind of?
It's weird. It's a weird, especially here, because before we started dealing with this crap, and this really just came into alarming levels yesterday. Like the night before, you could see kind of like a haze, like a summertime, like heat haze. You know what I mean? Like it's so hot, it creates that unstable atmosphere. But I mean, very quickly it rolled in last night or over the course of yesterday. And you said Red Dawn, and like that's a perfect way to describe it. And we're hearing it. It's from the Canadian wildfires in Ontario, and then there's something going on in Minnesota that is feeding into it. So now everything is coming down. And when I went to work last night, I work at one of the big three automakers, and bro, I walked into that plant last night. I'm third shifter, and it was just as smoky and hazy in the building as it was outside the building. And the part that cracks me up is, there's people from all walks of life, healthy people, sick people, people with respiratory issues, and it has been advised that nobody goes outside until all this stuff blows out of here.
Right.
And how do I say this respectfully? The powers that be really demonstrate in times like this what they truly feel about their workforce, to the point that they're going to bold-faced lie to you and tell you we did an air quality check and it passed the levels that it needs to be at. Meanwhile, OSHA it comes out and says if anybody is telling you that if you are in a manufacturing plant that's set up like the one that I'm at, if they're telling you that the air quality is better than it is outside, they are lying to you straight up. OSHA come out like in an official statement. And I'm over here like, what the hell are we doing right now? You feel me? Like, and he just feeds into the toxicity, not just where I'm at, but people across the board that are being bold-faced lied to in an effort to keep that product going, to keep that profit. I'm like, come on, man.
Jason, 1,000%. Now, I used to be custodian, and you're speaking my language now. We're both from unions. OSHA we dealt with. Actually, we reported the city to OSHA, right? And OSHA did fine the city that I live in $10,000. That's how bad it was getting. Yeah, slap on the wrist, but at least it was acknowledged. And exactly what you're saying is what we went through. Oh, we put new filters in and this and that. Meanwhile, you're finding mold all over the damn place. This, that, and they're telling you, oh, it's perfectly safe. And we're going, hell no, it's not. We know this. We work the buildings. You know your building inside and out, and so did I. And exactly what you're saying, they're going to tell you, don't worry, it's all cherries and rainbows and this and that inside. And you're like, really? I mean, I worked at schools where they had no air conditioning. They just don't have it in there. And a lot of times in the summer, at 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, upstairs, it was 97 degrees to begin the day. And we were like, are you kidding me? What do you do? Luckily, back then, Jason, we had a nice manager, which they got rid of course. Anything good, you got to get rid of. And he'd be like, he'd be like, man, call it a day after 1 o'clock. It's too damn hot. Now, have a stroke. Have a stroke now. Have a stroke, go to the hospital. That's one less employee. It's true. It's true. Listen, it's real. It is so real. Like you said, they expect you, right, at a level to put your work out to the finest. And all we ask in return is a safe environment, a breathable environment. And what do? Like you said, they end up screwing you all the damn time, all the time.
Yeah, it's gross. The whole thing is gross, and again, this is coming after a stretch where we had upper 90s heat index. It winds up being triple digits. And it's like, oh my God, let's calm down, Mother Nature. Like Mother Nature don't do no jobs. Like I get that, but God damn, will you calm down? Yeah. It'll be okay.
You know what? I got to say one thing before we start right now. Shame, and shame on MLB for putting that damn home run derby on Netflix. I didn't know, Jason. I pick up my phone. I said, wait a minute. It's not on ESPN. It's not on Fox. Okay, maybe FS1. Huh? I looked. I was like, streaming on Netflix only. I'm like, are you kidding me? Jason, they've never done that. Right. They've never done that. For younger generations, this is their highlight of the year. I want to see the home run derby. Well, guess what? A lot of them didn't. Jason. It used to be on ESPN or channel on Fox. And now you're putting it in a platform. Oh, I know what people say, Vin, it's only the home run derby. Well, not to kids. It's not. And let's face it, there's rough times right now. A lot of people just don't have the money. And they're not going to say, oh, little Joey, you want to watch the home run derby? Okay, I'll spend $15 for, 2 hours. No, it's not going to work that way. And that's terrible, Jason, to put these games and whatever on different platforms. I am 1,000% against, bro. Against.
Listen, we've had this conversation in various forms on the Sports Reel podcast again that you hear every Tuesday night live here on the PFC network. The issue with the streaming trend, because that's where everything is going. And I'll be honest, like I was with you when I initially heard, and I mean it was a while ago that I had heard that Netflix had bought the broadcast rights to the Home Run Derby. I'm like, oh, that's not going to sit well with a contingent of the MLB fans. Now, for me personally, to play devil's advocate, it worked out in my favor because I do have Netflix, whereas I don't have access to my local channels, especially when I'm at work, when things like this are going on. And because it's on Netflix, if I can't watch it live, I can go back and watch it on demand, which is what wound up happening.
Right.
For me to watch the Detroit Tigers, I have to subscribe to a streaming service because they're not available on your local linear TV networks like they were when we were kids, and the way it should be, and
Right.
this is, and I feel like with this huge push towards the streaming rights, this is trying to garner a new revenue of profit for MLB because they know what's coming in the form of the lockout. And
Yep.
why are we even having a conversation about the lockout? Because of the salary cap. And they need to find ways to get new money into MLB. The NFL has proven it works. WWE has proven it works. I told you here on the last episode, I pay for 3 streaming services in order to get the current WWE product, including the pay-per-views, or what
Wow.
used to be the pay-per-views,
Right.
WrestleMania, SummerSlam, this type of thing. The MLB is learning a very hard thing here. And while it is working for NFL and WWE, those are 2 very distinguished and exclusive fan bases that are rabid for that respective form of sport and or entertainment. MLB fans, like there's fans like us, Vinny, and then there is the casual fan that tunes in when their hometown market is doing good, or if something on the level of a McGuire Sosa home run race is happening. Other than that, MLB is struggling, in my view, to establish that hardcore, passionate, rabid fan base that will follow their product regardless of where they go, including streaming things like Netflix and Paramount Plus and Peacock and everything else that you have to get to watch these games.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? The first push was on Monday. The push out, the lockout. No, we're not going to show you the home run derby. So to me, you already lost. You already lost a little bit of that fan base, Jason. To me, I wasn't up on top of it. So imagine a kid or someone. Oh, I'm going to go home and watch watch a home run derby. Oh, you can't. Well, you just lost. To me, you lost a little bit of your people there because you're out where you live and you can't even get the Tigers games on a regular broadcast. I mean,
Right.
that in itself is ridiculous. That should never, ever, ever happen. And like what you were saying, the new streaming they're trying to become the new norm. So the NBC, we'll do Peacock, right? We'll do Peacock. We'll do this, that. Man, let me tell you, they're making a wrong move because the way the world is right now, Jason, a lot of people cannot afford it and they're not. And what's going to come first, food or sports? Food all the time to feed your family.
If you're a decent human.
If you're a decent human, yes. If you're a piece of crap, you're going to, yeah.
You're subscribing to Netflix, or you're getting whatever you want to get, the NFL Plus network and all this other shit. And they're like, come on, man, let's.
Yeah. Where does it end?
No,
Yeah.
right, for real.
Where does it end? I mean, it's not right that you should have to take out 3 subscriptions to see what you want to watch. I mean, maybe me and you could think of something where we can, broadcast and make billions of dollars where everything's on one platform. I mean, make it easier. And for the elderly too. Poor people, they can't see their favorite teams. People in their 80s and 90s, they just want to watch baseball and watch their team maybe win a World Series before they pass away. Okay? Right. And they can't even do that because they don't have the resources to get to the darn game. It's just sad. It's sad because, look, we go through a lot of pain and this and that, but what can we rely on? Sports, baseball. When you can't rely on that anymore, what do you have? You have nothing to turn towards. Absolutely nothing.
No, I'm in agreement. I am in agreement. And, I feel like, and this is the part that sucks. The reality part. Let me be Tim refers to me as the reality check on Tuesday. He's the upbeat one. Eric is Eric, and I am I'm the realist. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're gonna look back on this point, like 10, maybe 15 years from now, and be like, remember when we were in that transitional period between network television as we knew it, rabbit ears, blah blah blah, to transitioning full time into the streaming thing. Like, I feel like this is where we're at. And, unfortunately, Vinny, we have to either learn how to adapt to this or we're going to be left in the dust. And I refuse to be left in the dust in anything because I'm just like, my passion for this kind of thing, baseball, wrestling, whatever the case may be, if I'm passionate about it, look, truth be told, I'm going to do whatever the hell I need to do to make it happen.
You got to have it. You got to have it. It's a craving, right? You got to have it. And I understand that part. And I agree with you 100%. We're going to look back and be like, holy cow, what was that we went through? And now when it finally kind of, levels off where it's a constant, Jason, that's when you're going to be like, okay, I could go to, this channel for this and this channel for that. Right now it's in limbo. Right now, everything's all around. But no, man. You know what I'm happy? The Yankees are in second place. Yeah, baby. See, New York. Listen, Yankee fans, I will admit we are the New York mess. That's right, the New York mess. But I'm not denying it. You guys deny. Oh no. We're only 3 games behind. No way, man. Let me tell you, I just looked at the standings. You guys better watch your ass because guess who's on your ass? The Red Sox for the wild card. Wouldn't that be a little twister? I love it. I hope the Red Sox, right at the end of the season, Jason, they're tied in a 1-game playoff, baby. Right. And that is enjoy. Pleasure. If that were ever happen, I would walk outside naked. There you go. I love New York. I'd be like, hell yeah. It's such a pleasure to see them lose and to watch that fan base just go. I mean, I love it. I don't hate to say it. That's just how it is. That's how sports is. And I remember a long time ago, Jason, you asked me, Vin, even in 2001. Yes, Jason, even in 2001, I was going against them.
Right.
Hey, it doesn't change that. Yankee fans are so arrogant, so, for so long, and rightfully so. 29 championships, to our 2. All right, I get it, but my God, well, take it easy with the Yankees and now Judge. Oh, it looks like he's not going to be back until maybe September now, if that, or the playoffs. If they make the playoffs.
How crazy is that, though? Like, we sat here at the start of this thing, and we poked fun at it because we thought he had, a bruise or something like that. Come to find out, this has
Pretty soon.
derailed one, the Yankees' biggest star, literally and figuratively, and among the faces of MLB. And you see what you look like him, hate him, whatever. You see what kind of impact he has on that team. And
Yeah.
with him being out of the lineup, off the field, I'm not saying everything rides on his shoulders, but that morale, the longer this goes, man, that morale, I've got to believe in that locker room is taking hit after hit after hit, and it's showing on the field because they are where they are right now. And I mean, what a kick in the nuts, too. The team now on your heels, once again,
Yeah.
is your most hated rival in the Boston Red Sox, who
Exactly.
everybody had written off. But and look, the Tigers are the same thing. Everybody started writing the Tigers off. I'm like, calm down. We're not
Right.
even an all-star break yet. If you look at this, and this is why it kind of pays in our favor that our division is the way that it is. I mean, they're not out of it by any stretch. And going into all-star break, the Tigers were the best team in baseball. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay. And here we go. Here we go.
Here's the kicker, Jason. Here is the kicker. If the Boston Red Sox, okay, here we go. If the Boston Red Sox say they get into the playoffs, they beat the Yankees or whatever, they get in, they beat them. You got to go back to the beginning of the season. They fired their manager, bro. So their whole thing, you can't even say they had a steady manager, their interim manager. The Yankees could say, we have our manager, right? Which if he doesn't win this year, he's gone. But anyway,
Right.
you have a solid foundation where the Red Sox are showing cracks already, right? With interim managers, this and that. And they're still on the Yankees' butt. They're still on the Yankees' butt. And you know what? That's what all sports is about, baby. I love it. I love when somebody writes somebody off, like you said, and you're like, easy, it's early, and then you look, and we're through the halfway point now, and you look at these standings, and you see who is creeping and who is going downward. And boy, oh boy, I'm still going to put this out there. I am not giving up on the Pittsburgh Pirates yet either. I've been watching a little dipping in, Jason. I see what we have. We have obviously the Dodgers, right, in
Right.
first place, 63 and 39. I mean, it makes you kind of sick after a while because we know what's out there. It's Hall of Famers. It's just Hall of Famers. And anything short of a World Series win, to me, is a failure. Is an absolute failure with the Dodgers. They can't lose. They cannot lose. If they go into the playoffs, say if they go in, they'll have the number 1 seed and they play someone in the divisional and lose, man alive. They'll never hear the end of that. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's wild, man. It's wild how much fluctuation there can be in the standings.
Yeah.
And listen, Pittsburgh, yes, 1,000%. Pittsburgh is a team to watch in the National League. You know who else is that's starting to catch fire a little bit is the St. Louis Cardinals, and especially riding off what we saw on Monday night at the Home Run Derby. We're going to be talking about this in just a second, but there's a number of teams in both leagues that people just had written right off. And I'm over here like, number one, you don't pay attention to baseball, or two, you are so engulfed in your own fandom for the high market teams. If you're a Dodgers fan, a convenient LA fan now, because they're winning World Series. Yankees, we use those two teams as the pillars because of how they are financially structured.
Right.
The Pirates, the Cardinals. Do not sleep on the Athletics yet. I mean, they went through a little bit of a slide, but there's a lot of raw talent on that team. And like I said before, they're playing with a chip on their shoulder. Like they desperately want to make a statement unto themselves. Do not underestimate the Athletics. Cody's on here in the live chat. Let's go Tigers. We appreciate Cody.
What's up, Cody?
Joining the show. Actually, I'm going to be on his show. Tim and I are going to be on his show on Monday. And it's been a hot minute since I've been on somebody else's podcast, so it's going to be a little bit of a weird dynamic for me. But I love Cody, man. I got all the respect in the world. I love what he's doing over there. So I'm very much looking forward to being a part of that on Monday, 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
Follow Catching Up with Cody on TikTok and YouTube. So back on track here, though. I do want to talk a little bit, Vinny, about All-Star Week.
Mm-hmm.
We talked on the last episode where we looked at the All-Star game literally as the halfway point of not just the MLB season, but summer in general. And we used the reference of the movie The Sandlot. And so it really warmed my heart to no end when they did the cold open the way that they did, with all the fireworks and the kids riding the bicycles out on the field as the All-Stars started to slowly emerge with their sparklers. And bro, and I sent it to you, I sent it to Tim and Eric. I'm like, this is baseball right here. This is Americana. This is America's pastime presented in a way that they could not have done a better job with that cold open. What was your takeaway on that?
I agree. Like oh my gosh. Number one, it brings back memories, like you said. Holy cow. What they did was getting the kids involved. Number one is awesome, right? And with number two, what you noticed, I'm sure you noticed, was yes, we're back to the original uniforms, baby. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That's how it was played when you and I were growing up. They used their regular uniforms, not this. And you know what, Jason? Little things like that, I noticed. It's like, holy cow. They had that big introduction. Then they come out in the field and they're wearing their own, where they represent their team. And that's the way it should be. And that's when you find out who's a real fan. Because you know what? A lot of people are like, wait a minute, who's that? Who are they for? Was that the National League? Was that the American League? Because now it doesn't have American on it or national. So it kind of tests the fan. How true of a fan are you, where you could just watch the game and be like, oh man, okay, that was obviously the AL, NL, this, Red Sox, this goes here, that goes there. Like I said, I was just talking to my mother 2 days ago, and she was like, I didn't know what was going on. Who was the National League? Who was the American League? Because they had all the different uniforms, this and that. But that's how it was played, bro. That's how it was played.
It is those little nuances that make a difference. It's, and you're right. Not a lot of people pay attention to stuff like that. But there was just, the whole thing was such a throwback feel. And to me, that was a concentrated effort on MLB to reconnect a fading fan base with those little nuances that brought back familiarity to something like this. Because people, like we said a little bit ago, people were pissed off about the home run derby being on Netflix. So with the All-Star game being broadcast in its original, in its usual way that we're used to, they threw that sense of nostalgia in there. They were playing at a National League park. So all the American League All-Stars wore their road jerseys, and the National League All-Stars, because they were in a National League park, wore their home jerseys. It's those little things, like, okay, I get it.
But Jason, don't you think, here's a question. Don't you think a little too late, they should have been doing this right? With the not just the uniforms, with the kids, like you said, the sandlot. Shouldn't they've always should have made it about our pastime, about the kids at the All-Star game? What I'm saying is this is a little bit of an overreach because they know a lockout is coming. That's what I'm trying to say. They should
Yeah.
have been doing this all along. Do you agree?
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had private conversations off air about this. I've had on air conversations about this. You know, even the first time I started realizing we could be in trouble here. We could be seeing another lockout. And I mean, that was a couple of years ago. And I'm like, you got to do something. You got to do something now to curb this. Well, I mean, go to the bargaining table. I don't care what the agreement is, and you have to wait until this specific date before you guys can start having contract talks, whatever. Fuck that. If you want this sport to succeed, you need to the last thing that you can afford to do, especially baseball, is alienate your fan base. Alienate the people that are paying for the tickets and paying for the merchandise and paying for this, that, and other thing to make sure that there is a league and there are teams in place here. And it could be too little, too late. And I've said this, man. I'm like, they're waiting way too long. They really need to. They need to focus on what's important here. Anybody will tell you till they're blue in the face, we don't want a lockout. Then do something. Do something to prevent it. If you really cared about it, you would do something now. I mean, at least at bare minimum, to show the public that you are trying to negotiate in good faith. Because that was part of the problem in '94. We looked at this as millionaires versus the billionaires. And because it wasn't about us. They didn't give a shit about us. And like, I know some people, they've never watched another baseball game again because of that. And MLB cannot afford that.
No, you're absolutely right. You know what? You bring up a good point. I do know people that said, no, I'm not watching it anymore. And they've never watched since '94. And I've heard, oh, there might be a shortened season. Don't give me a shortened season. I don't want a shortened season.
Right.
There's an asterisk around there. I don't want no damn shortened season. Like you said, if you truly, the players and the owners, Jason, care about this game so much, you got to have common ground. You have to give and take. I already read a little something that the players off the bat are like, no, about the salary cap. Basically, it's going nowhere fast. You know what? Like you said, too, show that you're trying to get it out there. This was just the other day. It was like, I think I sent it to you. It was like, oh, no, lock. We're not even going to budge. Well, you know what? You better budge because, people like us, you're going to eventually lose. You're going to eventually lose a fan base, and it's going to take you another 15 years, Jason, to build this back up again. If you can build it to the level it's at, right. And forget all this money. What I would say to the major leaguers, if they were all listening, you know what? Just make a damn agreement. Because at the end of the day, Jason, you're going to have more money than you don't know what to do with it. Just make a deal. Have the salary cap. It's to me, it's a win-win for everybody because now the playing field is level. It's level. It's going to cause more competition. It's going to create a lot of openings that were not open before for small market teams, for big market teams. It's going to be good. But see, when nothing was done for 100 years, it's hard to crack, that first crack in the foundation and say, okay, we will do this, but so-and-so. They need to make an agreement. They really, really do. Before the hot stove in December, they need to. Yeah.
100%. 100%. Jordan Walker became the first St. Louis Cardinal ever in that franchise's long and storied history to win the home run derby, literally coming down to the last swing of the bat to take the title from heavy favorite and hometown superstar Kyle Schwarber of the Philadelphia Phillies. I watched this, Vinny, and I thought I picked Schwarber to win. I like that dude is a beast. Period.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's nobody that's going to stop him. Not
He's a
Bryce
strong
Harper.
man. Yep.
Not, nobody. Wilson Contreras. Wilson's got some
He's got
pop
pop.
in his back too. But Schwarber is on a different level, man. And I've been watching him since 2016 when he was part of the Cubs team that won the World Series.
That's right.
So I've watched him, and I'm like, that's my guy. That's my pick right there. It's going to be Kyle Schwarber. But then Jordan Walker comes up, and bro, the way he swings the bat, Patrick with boys with the Heat on Tuesday says it looks like he's half swinging, but the power that's coming off of it is like God.
Right. The torque he's got. Yeah.
And so
now,
it was insane to see it literally come down. Which, as a sidebar, I'm loving the new format of the of the home run derby. 15 swings, and it's good. I really appreciate it.
No more time limit, Jason. They got rid of that.
No, it's
because I couldn't watch it, so I didn't even really watch it. So there's no clock. You get 15 swings.
15 swings. 15
foul
swings.
Or fair. That's it. Boom.
Yep. If it's foul, it doesn't count. If it's a home run, it counts.
It was getting way too complicated before with like you said. Yeah. If it's 15 swings, I'm down with that. And one other thing that you pointed on, I have to ask you, seeing Schwarber with the Cubs and everything, I heard the guy's a prick. Is he a prick? He is, right? I just wanted to know. It's like him and Harper or one. They're both pricks. I just didn't know. I'm just confirming it because he plays like his shit don't stink, basically, right?
He does.
Right.
But here's the thing about Schwarber is in the last few years, he's been able to back it up. So I don't really, I wish he didn't have that assholish tendency. And that's what really steered me away from Bryce Harper. And I kind of went on a promo about Harper a few weeks back, but then somebody had sent me a video of some charity organization that he lended his services to, made an appearance at, and I can tell you after watching that, it looked like he genuinely wanted to be there. So I'll calm down a little bit on Bryce Harper. I still think he is an arrogant prick, but not the shit human being that I may have unfairly portrayed him as. I'm still not a fan of him. And I'll be honest, because I haven't heard much about him. I didn't know he was in the starting lineup or part of the All-Star team. I had no idea.
No.
And I was like, oh, Harper's still hanging around, huh? But it's because Schwarber has cast such a large shadow right now because this dude, physically, he's imposing.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And he's just
the way he swings that bat, Jason, is violent. It's a violent swing, and like you said, he backs it up. It's a violent swing, and it's gone. I mean, I've never seen a guy hit 450-foot shots so many times. How many people can say they hit 450? Maybe you can count them on one finger at one hand. But this dude does it like for a living, man. I mean, he just doesn't hit home runs. He makes sure they're freaking out of the ballpark wherever. So I agree. He's got a violent swing. His physicality he's just a big man, and he uses his body well to hit the ball. So it's not like he's a big guy and he's weak and this and he doesn't use it. I mean, he's using his body as a weapon, obviously, for these violent swings and for these awesome home runs. That I'm a fan of, actually. Yeah.
When we look at what was the starting lineup on Tuesday, the one thing, a couple of things that jump out for me personally. Mike Trout was the leadoff guy for the American League, starting center fielder, and in I think they said his 12th All-Star game.
Wow.
And we kind of gave him his flowers, both on this show and the Sports Real podcast. So I was real happy to see that he's still included and still among the best in MLB. Max Muncy of the Dodgers, Freddie Freeman of the Dodgers. Even though he plays for Los Angeles, I am a big fan of Freddie Freeman. Like, I feel like he is a really good ambassador for baseball. He's humble, but he's so damn good. He's clutch. He is a clutch baseball player. And I wouldn't have a problem if my son idolized Freddie Freeman, because he has been, I remember him when he was in Atlanta. I'm like, this is what a baseball player should be. Yes. And even when he went to Los Angeles and he got this big ass contract that he's enjoying, it doesn't seem like he let it go to his head. It did not change him from a public persona or personality. He's still the same dude, and that's how you know when you got somebody legit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't. Freddie Freeman, I feel the same way. He seems like a genuinely nice guy. You never see him get upset, too much where he's going crazy. He's level-headed, Jason. He's level-headed. He really, really is. And everything you said was just spot on. I have no problem with Freddie Freeman, not whatsoever. But that list that you had up, did you see how many Dodgers are on there? Of course. I mean, they could have played the Dodgers.
Something that got brought up on Tuesday, and I want your opinion on this. It was discovered that when you broke down the age demographic of those individuals who voted for the All-Star game, fans specifically, something like between 20 and 25% of the votes were cast by a demographic that was identified in the age group of 65 plus. Okay. So I'm going to ask you, now we're talking a significant chunk of the overall votes, 25%. Let's just do the math, make it easy math here. Do you mean to tell me that thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people in their 60s, 70s, and 80s are going onto some sort of electronic device to cast a vote for the MLB All-Star game? Back in the day, you remember this, we got ballots that we snail mailed, or you went to the stadium for your hometown team and you cast ballots there before the advent of the internet and everything like this. So when I throw that number out at you, that 25% of the votes were cast by 65 plus. We're talking senior citizens. And I'm not saying that every senior citizen doesn't have the capability to operate and run technology. I'm not suggesting that at all. But what I am saying is there is, in my view, no shitting way that all 25% is a legit cast vote. And this is why we see multiple Dodgers, multiple Phillies, multiple Yankees, multiple Blue Jays. I'm thankful that one of ours, Riley Green, was in the starting lineup in left field, and I think he batted 8th. Love that. You guys had Soto as the one representative for the New York Mets. And it's like, come on, man. What are we doing?
I think, honestly, I do agree with you. And I think this is what's going on. Okay. You're my father. You're 80 years old, right? They let you vote how many times? So what I think they're doing is piggybacking. So the son is putting their votes in, plus making an account for the father, okay, and putting his information on, hey, Dad, who do you like? I'm going to piggyback off my son. I think a lot of that's happening. So, like, the website to vote, you could vote how many times, which is ridiculous, right? How many times you could vote. That's ridiculous. It should be one time, done. I think it was like 5 times. So if you multiply that number 5 times, one person, and then say if your father's next to you, that's another 5, right? So that's where I think you see the spike in the older gentlemen that they claim. I think that's what's going on. And a lot to do with it is the writers too, Jason. Is the writers that they're more for the Hall of Fame. But let's face the facts. If you're a prick and, a ball player and you're a prick, there's odds that you don't make the team for that reason. If a reporter has it out for you, well, he might know somebody, that, to get you out of the starting lineup. It's happened before, believe me. But what you were saying, I think genuinely that's what's going on, because when I vote for the All-Star game, I'm like, how can I vote 5 times? You're allowed so many times, this, that. So I really believe that the elderly, 65 and up, are getting the information from their daughters or their sons and plug it in. And that's where you're getting that number. That's my honest opinion. What do you think? What do you think of that?
I think, it's that. And I think it's the capability that people can create fake profiles and they will put different age demos based on each individual profile. I think that's a thing. It becomes a glorified over the top.
Well, let me ask you, how many emails do you have? Accounts?
I have 2.
Okay. I have 3. So there you go. Right? If I register under all 3 of mine, that's 15 times you could vote. So you could create one. So maybe the father, right, does have 2. And you go through there. I think a lot of that's happening because this technology, these young kids know how to do it like, boom, no problem. Right. So I'm not putting it past them that they're doing this to get, like you said, their players on the field. Okay, you could see the Dodgers. They got all Hall of Famers on their team, but come on, level it off, man. I get it. Only one for the Mets. Soto, I get it too with that, because the way the Mets are playing, they shouldn't have anyone representing them, to be honest with you. My God, they look like a little league team out there.
It's the Bad News Bears.
Oh my God. Walter Matthau and all them. Yeah.
Oh man. That's
though, Jason, you reflect on this time and do you know the only ball game today is the Mets? There's only one ball game on today. And the
Mets and Phillies.
Yeah. I'm like, this is how much they thought they were going to be, that they were going to be good. Give them their own day. Yeah. Right. And everybody starts tomorrow. But, it's kind of it is a break. It kind of resets. Now is when you separate the boys from the men. This is when you see the nitty gritty, Jason, where the teams that like the Pittsburgh Pirates, are they going to turn it on now to make that push for the playoffs? This is when you supposed to see, balls to the wall, baby.
This is what I call nut cutting time. This is the time where the previous stretch of the schedule leading up to All-Star break, This is where you establish the foundation of what kind of team you're trying to be or what you're going to be. Because let's be honest, as much as it pains me, but again, I'm a realist. The Colorado Rockies are not sitting in Denver thinking, "Oh, we're making a push for the playoffs right now." They've done checked out.
Right.
They're they're planning on next season already because they're just that's where they are. The ownership of that organization is abysmal, and they really need to sell the team to somebody that's going to do something with them. Okay.
Right. Right.
It's so disheartening. But this is where teams like the Pirates, teams like Tampa Bay, teams like the White Sox, the Tigers,
The
like
Reds.
this is where we're like, okay, we are now literally going into the second half of the season. There is no more wiggle room to screw up here. If we're going to do this, we're going to do this. And this is what makes the Tigers so unique because they are literally at the fork in the road. You know, what do we do here? Do we do what we got to do to keep Tarek Skubal in our clubhouse for the rest of this season as we make a push for the playoffs? Or do we let him go, try to get as much as we can for him, and then focus on rebuilding the team for next year, assuming that there will be a season next year? Right. It's especially with this looming lockout, dude. Like I gotta believe this is becoming a source of conversation within ownership groups. Like, what do we do here? Do we go all in hopes that we can do something in the event that there is a lockout, right, or do we just roll the dice and just everything will work itself out? How many teams have suffered because of that mentality? It's a weird dynamic right now in the MLB, man.
No, you're right. You know what? Those teams, Jason, that you're talking about are usually 500 teams, right?
Right.
Like you said, do we go for it? We're 500. Say we're 7 games back. Do we go for it? Or like you said, do we sell and prepare for, if there is a season, for next year? Now, you touched on Skubal, and I'm going to stick my neck out and say, if I'm not a fan of the Detroit Tigers or anything, but I would let Skubal go because of the attitude. I would say, I wouldn't. He's coming off an injury, right?
Yeah.
It's a tough decision, but if I could put my owner's hat on, I think I would say let's avoid a cancer again in the in the locker room, and let's go out and try to find a Greg Maddux or someone like that to replace him. That's where I would lean. I just don't have a really good feeling about this dude, Jason. I really, really don't. Everything's pointing the other way with him. Do you feel the same way?
I do, dude. And I get crucified because I feel this way. I feel like this team has been riddled with distraction after distraction after distraction. And 3/4 of that shit is revolving around Skubal, his contract. What is he doing? And then they start throwing, well, he's a back-to-back Cy Young winner, and I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm not saying that the guy's a shit player. I'm not saying that he's not a good pitcher. I'm just saying that where he's at right now, in my view, 2 Tommy John surgeries, then he had to be pulled earlier this season because he had floating bodies around his elbow in his throwing arm. Bro, he is one bad throw away from severing something or pulling something that he is not going to recover from. This agent comes out here, and because he wants to be Mr. Popularity and publicity, and he's a high profile agent, I want 10 years. I want this, $5 million a year and blah, blah. Bro, you need to calm down because you are not getting that. And unless you have a stupid amount of money that you don't know what to do with, i.e., Dodgers, i.e., Yankees,
Yep.
you're not going to get that.
Right.
Now, now the Tigers could meet him halfway if they want to make a push for it. But I'm going to be honest. I'll go on record. Us making a deep run into the playoffs does not revolve around Tarek fucking Skubal. It just doesn't, in my view.
I agree. You know what, Jason? What you just said about the Tommy John surgeries, let's shift a little here. Now, if this was, let's play devil's advocate. If this was the NFL, with those injuries, would he be playing? Would he be traded? If he was a quarterback, would they wait for him? No. The answer is no. I don't care how good you are. If you keep getting hurt, Jason, and like you said, you're only a throw away from messing up your labrum or whatever you're going to do with the Tommy John, there's a lot of things connected, okay? And you put all your eggs in one basket and opening day comes and the first pitch he goes down, you're done.
Right.
You're done. And coming from a higher point, these owners, they have to realize that. They got to say, hey, hold on. This guy's already had 2 surgeries. He's injury prone. I don't want anybody on my team, Jason, that is injury prone like that. Everybody gets hurt here and there. But my God, 2 Tommy Johns, like you said, I'm not taking them. The Mets will probably take them, but I ain't going to take them.
Okay. Great example here. Because the Mets, no disrespect, but they have done some stupid deals. They have wasted a tremendous amount of money in the next big thing or the next big hope for this team that's going to carry you to that next level.
Yep.
And it's I'm just saying, like, again, I respect what Skubal has done.
Right.
Like I really do. I'm just not a fan of this guy because I don't feel like he wants to, I don't feel like he has the passion for the city, for the team, and the community that I expect out of a Detroit Tigers player as a fan, that I am used to. Some of our biggest stars are not just stars on the field, they're stars in the community. They go out and they really have a genuine, passionate care for what goes on in Detroit, Michigan. Skubal makes the appearances because he's told to make the appearances. And that's the vibe that I get. I'm not saying he doesn't want to be there. I'm just saying he's not as passionate about it. And if he is, then he's got a real funny way of showing it. He's very robotic, very autopilot-ish. And it's like I'm ready to move on if I can, because I don't want to talk about this next season. I don't want to talk about Tarek Skubal and what he's going to do. Unless he's coming to play against the Tigers at Comerica Park, then I will put his name in my mouth. Other than that, I got nothing for the guy.
What you know? What I'll take. What was the guy's name from Pittsburgh? The pitcher that I told you. Oh God. That did it all on his own, went to the Little League team, remember?
Yeah.
What the hell's his name?
Christ. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
I'll take him. I'll take 10 of them. 10 of him. Like you said, put him in Detroit. You know, I get it. He's not. He's with Pittsburgh. But they got a gem. They got a gem there. That's what you want in a player, I think. Just like that. You want we gotta find his name now. But right off the bat, if you saw that, you'd be like, damn, this dude is the real deal. He cares about the community, he cares about the city, he cares about this. What you know, because you live out there, you can feel the vibe off this dude, off Skubal. You would know, just like I would know with the Mets. He's not a right fit. He's just not the right fit. Is he good? Yes. Is he injury prone? Yes, that's even worse. To me, get rid of the guy, get as much as you can for him, and see what you got in the damn farm team too, Jason. You know, you don't always have to buy the most biggest and best thing. A lot of these kids, look who's coming up, Jason. A lot of these kids, like I said last episode, they're getting younger and younger. The last one, 22, 21 years old. Every day I see there is talent in the farm systems. You have to have the right people to pick them out. And you will not have to spend, right? You won't have to spend all this money. It will be homegrown. Are they going to be always 100% homegrown? No, but that's okay. If you are at least 50 to 60% homegrown, I'm happy. I'm happy because let's face it. Why is there a farm team, Jason, if we're not going to take those players up? Or if we're just going to trade them away to another farm team and this and that? And how many diamonds in the rough did we miss that other teams picked up on?
Right. Yep.
That's what I'm
100%.
saying. You don't need a big judge or this. Look small first, turn to big. That's how it usually works.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a great way of putting it. Great way of putting it. Yeah. Two more things I want to make mention here. I know we're coming up to, we just crossed the top of the hour here, or past the hour mark. Are a couple of things that ties both Vinny's team and my team together, even though one's National League, one's American League. The retirement announcement of Justin Verlander, and I know Verlander spent some time with the New York Mets, and we did talk about that he was pretty well received when he went to New York. You know, Vinny, you mentioned that, but. And even though we speculated on this, and I actually, more or less jumped the gun because I got erroneous information timeline wise, it winds up coming to fruition. Verlander is calling it a career at the end of this season. What do you think his overall legacy is going to be?
Oh man, he is obviously Hall of Famer. A genuinely.
Would you say first ballot?
Oh, absolutely. If he doesn't get in first ballot, then there's something wrong. I'm sorry. Look how many years he put in the league. Cy Young winner. I mean,
MVP. I mean, he's done it all.
He's done it all. And, careers that last that long, Jason, and that are that good, doesn't make sense if you don't get in the first ballot. That's why I say, there's some people that want to screw you, man, that are out there. But to me, there's nothing to screw because he's a genuine ball player, a nice guy. When he came, like I said, when he came to the Mets, you didn't hear a peep out of him. A bad word about the Mets. He wasn't a cancer in the locker room or anything. So anything short of a first ballot would be a debacle. He's got to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt.
I 100% agree. He started with Detroit, went to Houston, went over to New York, then a stint with the Giants, and now he's back here in Detroit, kind of full circle. We haven't had the opportunity to really see him play because, on the eaves of his starts, his projected starts, he gets pulled because of a rash of injuries that he's dealing with. So we knew this day was coming. It's sad. It sucks. It is what it is. But we're not going to see the last of Verlander on a public realm because I feel like he's going to follow in the footsteps of John Smoltz, John Smoltz has become one of the great commentators in televised baseball. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I like John Smoltz. Before, when he was playing, I hated John Smoltz. But right? But as an announcer, he's great. But here's the question. Don't you think all that knowledge, Jason, Verlander would become a manager or pitching coach?
I do, but I don't know if he has that
mentality, the mean streak in him.
He's got the knowledge. I just don't know if he's got that mean streak that you would need to keep some of these egos in check.
True.
That's why I feel like he would be a media darling. I feel like he would be very, very well in an analyst role, whether a pregame setting or in the booth. I think he would do a good job in it. in that. You know, he's a good looking guy. He's charismatic. He's articulate. You know,
It's true.
he
Yeah.
has a specific aura about him. So
I,
I see him more as an announcer.
you know what? I could see that too. Either way he goes, he's so beloved, Jason, that it would be okay. Like
Yeah.
you said, announcing like John Smoltz, yeah, he would have no problem fitting in. And obviously you do need more commentators, right? A lot of
Yeah.
the older ones are getting old. Okay, just like this is life. It's life. And you need that foundation again, like a Tim McCarver, right? Tim McCarver,
Exactly.
man, he was announcing all the World Series game. Vin Scully, you need people like that. He may be the next Vin Scully. We don't know. But, you know, somebody's obviously going to give him a chance depending what he wants to do, like you said. But I got no problem with what he does. When you're on the straight and narrow and have a career like his, you got to respect everything he does. Everything he does. I really mean it, because how many players play that long and maintain the level he's on and not get cocky and go sideways? A lot of people do, and he did not. So that's saying a lot. And you know what? He could have came back next year. He knew it, Jason. He could have said, look, I'm what was he, 42 years
Yeah.
old? I've been in the major leagues over 20 years. I've had all success. There's nothing else to prove. So now he's going to go live his life with his family. Take like you said, it'll probably take a year to 2 years off. And then what he does next will be awesome, just like he did on the field. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, 100%. He's whatever he like you said, whatever he winds up doing, he's going to flourish. And if that means he stays retired and now out of the limelight, well, then by God, he's earned that right. And bless his heart. The last thing I want to make mention this week on Ball Game, and again, we appreciate everybody tuning in with us live and those who listen on demand on the RSS feed. MLB released next year's schedule, ironically. And obviously, I paid attention to what the Tigers are scheduled to be doing. Well, what jumped out at me, Vinny, is that they're opening the season the earliest date ever in Comerica Park history in the 20 plus years that we've had this stadium. March the 25th will be opening day against the Chicago White Sox, and within the first month of the MLB season. Are you ready for this shit? Listen to this. They've got the White Sox, they've got the Yankees, they've got the Mets, and they've got the Dodgers all at home.
Oh my God. Wow. That is a lineup and a half, bro.
That's is sink or swim. That is literally throwing your ass into the fire and hoping you can do something with that.
Oh my God. If it doesn't snow on opening day.
Right. We're going to be going out there and tailgating in snowmobile suits and layers of, oh yeah.
Jason, it's funny to me because we've never opened up early like this. Like we've mentioned before, it's usually April 8th to 10th. Man,
it's right around my birthday. That's how I know. It's around that second week of April.
Right. What are we doing opening up March 25th, 26th? I mean, we're still in winter. That's winter still. Not technically. It is spring, but
it's 3 days or 4 days into spring, technically. Like, holy shit. Well, like, what are we doing?
I mean, how many games did you see the Cleveland Indians? How many times they opened up and it snowed? They got snowed out. Or Colorado. The other team, the Rockies. I've seen. Why would you open up in Colorado, right?
Feet of snow. They had to move off the field at Coors Field in Denver the day before opening day. They had fans in there, much like what they do with Buffalo. They had fans in there trying to shovel the seats and shit. Come on.
Dude, you think of baseball, you think of what? Warm weather, right? Nice sunshine, not blizzards. not blizzards.
Blizzards and sub-zero temperatures. But be that as it may, March the 25th will kick off the 2027 MLB season, presumably. For us, it will be at Comerica Park. Now, it's I'm glad that they're opening the season here in Detroit. I'm going to make a more concentrated effort to. I've never been to an opening day, if I can be honest with you.
Okay.
And this year they opened up in San Diego, and I was like, shit. And by the time they got back here for their home opener, my schedule just wasn't going to allow it. But now, we'll see what happens.
But you got the cream of the crop. Any of those teams you go see, Jason, it's going to be sold out.
100%.
I mean, who cares what the Tigers look like? Just to get to see those teams in your stadium, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees. Yeah, but that is awesome. You have to. I'm putting it on record right now, Jason. If there is a season next year, you must go to one of those games you just said, the Dodgers, the Mets, or the Yankees. You have to go. I would do the Yankees if I were you, or the Dodgers, top two.
What if I flew you out here for the Mets?
There's one problem. I don't fly.
You don't fly.
You would have to train me out there. John Madden.
We'll come pick your ass up. We'll just drive. We'll just come get you.
Okay.
And we'll bring you back to Detroit for the weekend. We'll take in the Mets and Tigers. We'll record some content. We'll get Tim and Eric involved in it. We'll make it a thing.
Hey, I'm down for it, man. Road trip.
That unto itself has unlimited content potential.
Exactly. I mean, I did a lot of traveling, never flew, did a lot of traveling. So I'm used to going out 9 hours and stuff like that to Ohio. And Detroit's not that much farther away. So you know what? Maybe I'm coming out opening day in the snow, baby. How awesome would that be, man?
That would be, man. It'd be a good time.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll go ahead and start winding this down, put a bow on this episode. If you haven't done so already, check out the official merchandise of this show. You can go to pfcsportsreel.printify.me. Check out the latest jerseys, t-shirts, hats, mugs, a lot of merch with the ball game logo and mine and Vinny's beautiful faces on there. Be sure to check that out. And then this Tuesday, live on the PFC Entertainment Network, Don't Know Grit is going to be joining Tim, Eric, and myself for the latest episode of the Sports Reel podcast. We're going to go live at 6:45 p.m. this coming Tuesday, July the 21st. And then as another programming note, I will be back live on ONTV tomorrow night, beginning at 6 p.m. for the latest episode of the Fatal 4-Way, where we break down the latest news, headlines, and rumors and innuendo in and around the world of professional wrestling. Look for Orion ONTV on Facebook and YouTube. Vinny, anything else you want to put out there before we hop out of here this week?
I just want to say, no, I want to just say, yes, the Fatal 4 was good. I did see you. I did pop in last week. I didn't say anything. I was like, I'm going to sneak up on Jason. Check it out. Good show. I liked it. Honest to God, people go watch that show. It is really, really good. I got to say. And, listen, for anyone out there, enjoy this season because there might not be a next season. Do what you want to do now if you can. And
right.
Baby, let me tell you, now that there's an official game, the Mets tonight, we're back on. And this is, like I said, balls to the wall, baby. Let's see who's going to come out on top. This is going to get very interesting, Jason, on our episodes as we go on into the postseason.
As the late, great Macho Man Randy Savage once said, the cream rises to the top. And that's
Let me tell you, brother.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, I love them, man.
Kofi in the big time.
Yeah, and that's how we talked. I told you, he was like, "Hey, Vin." I was like, "Oh, Macho Man, how you doing?"
All right. We appreciate you, Vinny. We appreciate everybody else. Go out, be awesome to yourselves and to each other. We'll see you next time right here on Ball Game, here on the PFC Entertainment Network.